12-0. So we'll have a look and we'll see what they're doing that other teams are not doing, why they're so proficient at this. If there is anything you guys do want to watch, anything you want me to expand, feel free to let me know. Please make sure you guys are retweeting the stream. Let's get loads of people in here. This is going to be educational. This is going to be fun. You guys, I'm going to be asking you guys a lot of questions. If you guys are new to the locker room, I ask the chat a lot of questions because answering and thinking for yourself is one of the best ways to learn. That is my philosophy as a coach. Any questions from anybody before I start? Feel free. Feel free, feel free, feel free. Make sure you guys are paying attention. If there's any questions, let me know. We'll get this going. The pen is going to come out right now. Further cement their legacy as the greatest and most consistent. But locker room, just more SR. Maybe the Russians are coming. Alright, chat, let's get this going. Let me make sure everything is good. Alright, let's get this studying. Team of all time. Here we go. Map 1, Faze, Thieves. Alright. We're gonna focus on Thieves, ideally. We wanna dissect how they're playing. Let's have a look what they do on their break off. And as you said, Thieves have yet to lose it on the year. Interesting break there. 1 ticket, 1 hedge, 1 P2. So I understand this break off. We stole this break off for our team. Normally what Paco tries to do is he slides over to Ambi because then he takes this fight. Then they have one guy hedge stunning here, one guy stunning here, and they'll try and take the fights together. Then when they have the guy ticket, we'll play time based on the info, whatever. That's what they normally do for their break. It normally works out, but you can see Faze have hard countered them here. Faze have been playing for that. Can they slow down? The improved hard point though from Faze. Yeah, and I think the highlight for Faze is the teamwork insane. Right. Where's Paco just spawned here? Yeah, and I think he spawns lights because of where number 2 is. Remember guys, wherever you are in the hill, past the hill, if you draw a square basically through this, imagine it's perfect. Whichever side you are, they will spawn the furthest away. If it's one person, it will give them the deepest spawn possible. If it's multiple, the game will look to flip, unless you are hard blocking. Good play from Ernie there. Ernie playing a power spot. Nice, good job making him OE. He's trying to stay alive. They're going to spawn ticket. He's blocking ticket, so he's going to spawn on bus stop here. Now he's pushed it out. Nice. So basically what LAT try and do, which is really good for their P1s, is they'll essentially try and do something like this. They try and control obviously this side of the map, get them spawning underground, force them to take routes, and then when you force enemies to take routes, obviously then you have the crosses based on what position you are in. The good thing with LAT that they do always when they get in their end goal setup is they're always in hybrid spots where they can help from a flow perspective in either side. They can always in positions to help each other, so then they're very reactive when they get the information. They put themselves in position to get the information in the first place, but they're playing good spots to play the guarantee for the next wave. So, chat, my question to you guys is, what is a hybrid spot? For you guys who are viewers in my chat, you guys are here often. What is a hybrid spot? Talk to me. Get your brains working, chat. And for you new viewers in here, feel free to answer. If it doesn't matter if you're wrong. Give me an idea, guys. What is a hybrid spot? Looking at some of my regulars here, you guys should already know. Good answer. Good answer. Lock down a lane and help teammates also. Okay, but what about a hybrid spot specifically is very important? There are certain spots on every hill that you can play that are hybrid. What is so good about hybrid spots? What's good, Swig? What's good? Swig, you can answer this one. What is so good about a hybrid spot? What is the importance of a hybrid spot? So I don't even know how to say your name, but that's a very fantastic answer, right? Via, give me an answer. Come on. Yeah, give me an answer. Nuclear, give me an answer. You can watch the cross and transition to the next hill. Good. Okay, I like that. Something else. Are the servers down? That is not the answer that I wanted. Cross in, support refilling. Good. No. So yeah, not hybrid spots are not spots where you can use your free life, right? But to Sweggy's point, you have crosses, you can support, you can react off the information. So hybrid spots are very good because in your flow, you're in a position where you can react on multiple lanes to take trades based on the information. That is why. So for example, here, so in this case, what's good, Camps? In this case, if Bako's here, he's the first guy, right? He's in a hybrid spot where he can use his free life, like you said, yeah, very good. He can, if he wants to, based on what the timings he has in the moment, whatever, play his guarantee, but he's also in a position where then he can back off and take fights with his teammates. This is how we promote teamwork. By understanding what your hybrid spots are on a map, when you position yourself for a gunfight, you can shift either side to take the same fight based on wherever someone's coming. Or you can react off the information and make a play. So if Paco's here, he can either pinch it. So when Paco's here, he's going to spawn him here, right? Because he's blocking the bus spawn, assuming we're hard blocking, right? He's going to spawn like back here. So if the enemies are running up like this, chat, Paco's in a position where if he feels like he has the timing or he's reacting off information on the guy in time or reacting off his information, he can pinch. If not, he's in a position where he can help and fight either side. So he's denying this and he's denying this. These are what we call hybrid spots. But good answer so far, guys. I do like that. So my question to you guys on this P1. Let's start thinking macro, okay? Ideally, best case, if all the enemies are dying, why is it you want to control this first, if possible? Why? Let's start thinking here, guys. And this is an extension of your hybrid spots. Why is that? There's basically two reasons. Hey, David. Yes, David. So, essentially what you want to do is if you draw a square through the time, based on where you are in this square, you will basically give them. The game is looking for the safest spawn possible relative to that square, right? So if one person is pushed past the, we call it the 50-yard line of the hill, like this, based on which side of the square you on, the game will be like, nope, I'm not going to spawn you there. And based on how many people are doing it, the game will be like, either I'm going to keep you the furthest away relative to that, or I'm going to try and look to flip depending on the numbers. It's as simple as that. So that's why when I play ranked, I'm very I know exactly where people are, where they're spawning, where they're coming from. What's good, Davey? Welcome. Call of Duty Hope, force back spawns for new. Good. That's one element. Yes. So, yes and no. Yes and no. Obviously, you can spawn either here, or you can spawn them either here when you have this side. So let's say hypothetically, I don't know, it's 1, 2, something like this, right? In this case, they're going to spawn here. In this case, they're going to spawn here. So you're forcing the deepest spawn possible either side. So Call of Duty Hope, good answer. But let's now try and think of it from a fundamental perspective. There's mainly two reasons why, okay? Two reasons why you want to control this side of the map for P1. Let's think about it. Let's think about the lanes you have to cut. Let's think about what the advantages of this side are. Give me what is an advantage of holding, rather than holding this side, right? What is the advantage of refill or filling in or trying to hold if you get a clean wave this side? What are the advantages? Let's keep it stupid simple, guys. Let's keep it stupid simple. Get out of control and collapse time. Good. Map control. Good. Okay, chaos. Yeah. So you can play ahead for P2. Fantastic. Control of 2 spawns plus rotation for next. Good. Kill their rotators. Good. Keep them in a blender. Good. Now, when you guys start thinking of Call of Duty, I want you to start thinking at a macro level, meaning what is the core concept you're trying to think of. Anything that you guys are thinking of, we want to know what the core point is. So right here, when you hold this side of the map, you have multiple different avenues to fight them on time. So let's think about that core concept, right? There is basically, if you have this entire side, there is basically only one spot essentially that they can reliably play, and that's not even reliable, where they can soak time. Let's start thinking ahead and let's start thinking of the core concept. The core concept here is by controlling the side of the map that gives you the most hybrid spots and the most lanes, in order to deny time, you prevent them from soaking time. And it gives you the best opportunity to then soak time yourself. That's why certain areas of the map are more important when it comes to either the spawns that you want, the side that you want, based on the positions that you have, to then able to force kills or funnel teams in a certain way. So let's say right here, guys, let's say we have some setup like this, some variation like this, right? Some variation like this. So he can play here or he can play here, right? So for all intents and purposes, we'll have him on globe, right? This guy's pushed out P2. So my question to you guys is, where are they going to spawn first of all? Let's break this down. Where are they going to spawn? BS and D. Okay. Yep. Okay. Anyone else? David, Apollo, JC, Tyson. Where are they going to spawn here? Give me an idea. So I want you to start thinking ahead. BS and D, Call of Duty Hope. Fantastic. Okay. Good. Good. Yes. They will spawn here. Now, let's look at the routes that they can take. Right? Let's look at the routes that they can take. Well, they can come off spawn, and they can do this. They can come off spawn, they can do this. They can come off spawn, they can do this. And they can come off spawn, they can do this. Based on this image here, chat, what is the longest route that they can take? To get into a gunfight with someone. To get into a gunfight with someone. Relative to the X's on the map. P5, going through back goalie, good. So this is the longest, right? So this is the fourth. This is the slowest route. What is the third slowest route to get into a gunfight? I think it's basically relative. Actually, no, you guys are right. You guys are right. No. You guys are right. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. So this is obviously the slowest. This is third. What is the quickest and what is the second quickest? Yeah, to get into a gunfight. 3v5, yeah, good, yeah. So these are what we call our timings, right? Trophy room into P1. Second is ticket. Yeah, good guys, very good. So this would be the second. Now, these are what we call our timings, right? Pro players understand exactly where they spawn in and exactly what lanes they can take and the time it will take for players to take a particular route. Everybody runs at the same pace. The more you play, the more you'll have that muscle memory in your head. When I play ranked and I know exactly where you're spawning, I know which routes to check first via process of elimination. If you're here, you're not here. If you're not here, you're here, right? Based on this concept, right? Now, the reason why this is very important to the earlier point is you can funnel teams. When you know the routes an enemy can take and you know the time it takes for them to take a certain route, guys, these positions are very important to cut in the time because you can fight them based on where you think the pressure's coming from. That makes sense, chat. The reason why this side of the map is then very important, chat, is if I know exactly where you're coming from, I know how long it takes for you to take a particular route, I know who is spawning up in what order, Scrap first, Hydra first, second, Envoy third, Ghosty fourth, I can then put myself in guarantee spots or positions to let the game come to you and get the first kill of the next wave. This game can be very wave by wave. This is what we mean by getting in good spots or hybrid spots to play the kill of the next wave. So then, this is why holding particular sides, so core point, holding specific sides of the maps give you the ability to funnel teams and get and win the trades or gunfights or guarantees or the highest percentage chance of winning the next wave and soaking time. So this is all in all, this is why holding certain sides of certain hills is very important. That is the concept behind it.
Understand this map more than anyone when it comes to raw slaying ability. Madraza, a nice start at 4-1. LAThieves with some early time.
So you'll see here. Chat, I've lost my flow. Chat, flow's gone. Flow's gone, chat. Chat, flow's gone. I'm not doing the locker room anymore. I'm done, guys. I'm done. I'm retiring. Chalk it up. Chalk it up. Dahlia, you've cost me. Yo, you're telling me to get YouTube Premium? I don't have a job. I don't have a job. Ask any question that you have. You guys wanna ask any questions? Go for it. Ask as many as you need. No, I'm interested by the ad. Hold on. She's actually kind of cooking. Yeah. What's your question?
Gonna rotate here soon towards P2. Fantastic setup on the map right now.
How much was I making coaching? That's a fucking rogue question. Don't you dare ask that. How much of these routes becomes most of it, if not all of it, becomes subconscious. It becomes muscle memory. When I'm playing, I don't think about this. I just know. It's repetition. It's repetition. The more you play, the more you know instantly. And again, it's also relative to your position. So some routes might have quicker timings based on where you are and also based on what their objectives are. When you play this game over and over and over, you will know based on the situation, based on the time, based on where they're spawning, what they're going to do. If it's like 20 seconds, you know, okay, he's spawning back here. There's a likelihood someone's going to try and take a route to rotate or try and flip or whatever. It becomes this game of repetition, muscle memory. I know what you're doing because I would do the same thing, essentially. Yeah, don't, feel free to interrupt me, ask as many questions as you want. What happened to the champs money? Don't you be asking questions like that. Yeah, I made some bad investments. We won't talk about it. Yo, champs money don't last that long. I'm gonna buy a fucking Nissan GTR with that. That's what I'm trying to buy. I'm trying to buy a 2023 Nismo Nissan GTR. If you know, you know. I've lost my tennis ball, by the way, chat. I'm tweaking. Holy fuck. Oh, I've got it. We're good. Alright. So let's go back here, chat. So this is why holding a particular side of the map is so important, because look at the spots Ghosty can play. It helps him get guaranteed kills. Right? A lot of, especially for an AR, a lot of your gunfight is down to positioning. Understanding what positions are going to give you the highest percentage chance of winning a gunfight. Power spots like head glitches, right, are very important for AR players. That's my biggest advice as an AR player, is learn and understand how to get in these spots and when to get in these spots. Understand when. So, for example, with P1, you have multiple cracking spots, power positions for an AR. Spots where you can pre-aim and get a kill. Understand when you can get into a certain spot based on where the enemies are. If an enemy has been fully wiped at the back, you can get into a super duper mega spot. But if they're controlling the time, then it's not so easy. This is what we call map management. Right? Now, what do you guys notice here about the flow? So, what do you notice here about the flow after Ghosty just made his kill? Chat, what do you guys notice? So I'm gonna play it again. What Dan has just done here. Ghosty shifted, okay. Everyone pushed up. So, couple reasons why. So let's talk about it. Couple reasons why. Now, give me, for you guys who are my regulars, give me an answer from a fundamental macro perspective. What is important about what Dan Ghosty's done? Ape number 2, good. Now, let's break it down. As though you guys are coaching, break it down. Now, let's make sure this is transferable. I want some answers here. They push forward to flip spawns, but made it in an advantageous position by turning as soon as number 1 spawned in. Very good. So this is very good spawn recognition and management from LAT. Hive mind, very good. We can go even more simpler than that. But there's 2 things you can even go simpler. 2 things based on 1 point I mentioned earlier, and even more fundamental than that. What do we call it, guys? When you were the first guy in line. Chat, what do we call it? Isolate the kill, turn the map to further erase any progress. Completely aware and how fast the bomb spawn and take a fight. Conveyor belt, good. Very good. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Afflicted. Good answers, guys. Yes, so flow. So he's the first guy in the flow. He's going to push up and get space to try and kill number 2. But why? But why? Why? He could leave him. You could leave him there. You could say, hey, you can stay there. I don't want to do nothing to you. I could sit on this head glitch and do nothing. But why does he and 6 want to push out number 2? And again, let's keep it stupid simple here, chat. Why? Cheers, Heaven. Heaven, you answer this one, Heaven. Why? Tyson, I want you answering. Heaven, I want you answering. I'm not gonna move this forward unless them 2 answer, or one of them to answer. Keep spawns, but why? Why? Let's dumb it down completely. Why do you want to keep spawns? No, not necessarily for P3. This is too early. Playing ahead, good. Hey, listen. If Tyson and Heaven don't answer, then locker room's chalked. Funnel them, good. Even more simpler. Blocking. Good. Heaven. Okay, good, good. But why do they want to block? To cut the map and make it simple. Good. But let's dumb it down even more than that. Remember, guys, let's keep everything we're learning, we're keeping transferable. We're trying to keep it transferable. Good. Okay. But remember, for P1, why did we want to control this map for this side for P1? Good. There we go, Afflicted. That's the answer I wanted. You want them to get the furthest spawn possible from the time. The furthest possible. Why? Because it takes time for them to get to hill. Right? Now, there's 2 ways you can play it. You can either get them spawning the furthest spawn possible by purpose, intentional, by bumping out, for example, or line of sight blocking, or you can get them spawning here. What's the difference between both ways of playing? So let's try and think about it. What are the pros and cons for playing it both ways? So, first question actually, chat, is what is the pros and cons of spawning them lights? Give me pros and give me cons. So now let's expand on it. Let's go a bit more specific. Longer routes to make a play. Very good. So you guys are right. Gives you more guaranteed timings and routes, less undefined routes. Very good. No. Afflicted. Not for when you're spawning them lights. However, you guys are right. So the routes are longer. So if they're going to do this, it's going to take a bit more time. Therefore, you are going to get, obviously, more time. Thank you, DJ S, for the raid. So yeah, so that's a pro. So now you know the timings, longer routes, whatever. Pro, deep spawns. Yes, Swaggy, fantastic. So chat, that's the answer I was looking for. Yeah, okay. In this case, 56 seconds left, right? They have to take deep routes, long routes, or bang through the back, which takes a bit of time, so you're guaranteed time, right? If you let the game come to you, and you guys are in power spots like this, I don't know, something like this. I don't know, some variation like this, right? No, what would be realistic? Something like this would be realistic, right? Something like this, right? Then yeah, they have to come to you. They've got to come to you, so you're going to be soaking time, right? But as you guys have mentioned, the con is, well, you're giving them the opportunity to take routes, the ability to take routes, which means they're going to be setting up natural pinches, taking routes that are complementary. Complementary meaning, even though they're taking different routes, they can still help each other and converge, right? So that's an issue. Yeah, sure, you might get 10, 15 seconds, but you're giving them the opportunity to then get one wave and spawn you out anyway, right? However, what do you think if you get a clean wave and we keep them spawning here? What do you think of the pros and cons to that? What happens when one pushes up back spawn? Will they still spawn BSD? Yes, they will still spawn BSD depending on how far you push. If you're pushing cheeks, then there's a you can give them like a mid flower spawn, and then you can spawn them like behind your bus. You don't want to do that. It makes the game super messy because the game doesn't feel safe if you're actually your body and your person is actually hard blocking a spawn point. All right, if we spawn a market here, chat, what are the pros and cons of that? So let's start thinking. What are the pros and cons to that from a micro perspective? What do you guys reckon? And feel free to chat. DJ, I want you answering this here, DJ. What do you think is a pro and con when we spawn the market? Market is what's highlighted here. So DJ, I want you to answer this. What do you think is a pro and con from spawning the market from a macro or a setup perspective? And we'll talk about setups in a minute. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? If DJ doesn't answer in about 15 seconds, one of you can do it. And again, feel free. There's no, you don't be afraid if you're wrong. We're here all to learn. So feel free to interact. He's got it. Yeah, I trust him. I trust him. He's got it. Silently waiting. We're all just silently waiting for our goat to answer. Our king to answer. Come on, king. Answer. Alright, someone else can take it. So, everyone else, right? Give me the pros and cons of spawning and back market when it comes to playing for P2. Cons, I feel like it's bad because they can all play the front and have a lot of team shots. Okay, less routes but faster chance to bank kill. Yeah, the pro is funneling and keeping everyone in front of you for a good 10-15. The con is that it forces the other team to bully hill, which can quickly turn into your team. Good, very good. Now, this is personal preference. The way I like to play this P2, at least for the first wave or the second wave, to be honest with you, is by spawning them here. And the reason for that is you guys are absolutely spot on. Is yes, they have to funnel. And yes, like you said, there is a chance for team shots. But this is where having good hybrid spots and good power positions can help you get the advantage in these trades. Because remember, guys, when they come in off spawn, the amount of positions that they can play is very limited. They don't have as many hybrid spots or power spots to utilize. This is a power spot here. This is a hybrid spot here. That's a hybrid spot. That's a hybrid spot. Here's a hybrid spot, right? So when you know, and this is what we call a kill box, right? Guys, for more of my, before I move on, think about, so for my more advanced viewers, what other hills potentially, what other hills and what other spawns are potentially kill box spawns? These are Albini. These are things that you learn in challenges. These are things that everybody learns in challenges. Of course, when the game is new every single year, you have to relearn it. But it's this has to be the most important thing that you learn in your first couple of weeks playing. Has to be. These are basics. These are complete foundational stuff that you need to know inside and out if you want any chance of playing in the Pro League. But chat, back to my question is think about other hills that employ this same concept. Now I know obviously some of you might not know spawns completely, but for my Crimson and Iridescent players, what other maps or what other hills can you think of that have this essential kill box style? There's two that come to mind. Back P3, okay, that's a good answer, but there's one on Vault and one on Rewind that come to mind. Have a think. I wouldn't say Hassi P2 necessarily. No, I wouldn't use Hassi P2 necessarily as an example. Although I do see it. Rewind P3, fantastic. Back Burger Spawn, very good, yes. And Vault P2, correct. So Vault P2 and Rewind P3 are concepts that have essentially the same concept here. Yes, on Rewind P3, yes, you are spawning them technically closer to the hill, but if you already have the good spots first, you already have a kill shot. You already have a kill box, right? Even Skyline P3 getting them spawn in Heli or Garden. You already have a kill box where you have multiple guns shooting in the same lane. The general goal for Hardpoint is you're trying to get multiple guns shooting at the same thing once you're in power spots. When you are in power spots, there's a reason why they're called power spots, right? And you're in hybrid spots, that can help and react off information. When you take the same fights, you can trade together. So, Rewind P3, Vault P2, this. Yes, they can fight together, but because of their lack of power spots and the fact that they're taking very disadvantageous gunfights, if you lose that, especially with stuns and nades, you're shit. Not shit. I mean, you make a mistake, right? You get shit on, whatever. But it's very unfavorable for the enemies coming off market to just head bash something if you're playing it right. So that's why it's fantastic from P2 to get them spawning market here.
Going to happen to back down for Faze. They have a bit of a split. You pick it up on one side, you pick it up on the other. What a stretch there from Thieves.
And welcome Albini too. Welcome to the chat.
Faze fighting for their first point. And this is it, man. Just the map control that
Nice.
LAThieves. They understand this map better than anyone, right? All the ARs are out. You have stage lockdown. Sim's going to try to go on a route and make you play.
So let's look at LAT here. Let's look at how they played this.
Four dead, all the control in the world. Faze fighting for their first.
So Paco's probably mind-blown his spawn market, but it makes sense because he's on the right side of the hill. Or his timing's wrong. Whatever. So what is good about Six doing what he did? So Six took a risk, right? He's taking a risk. Why is this not a bad death? Chat, explain to me why this isn't a bad death. Why is this for my regulars? Yep, free life. What happens after a free life? Yep, gets intel, knows one back market, and the rest are coming from. Yep, fantastic. Yes, he's getting specific information of what he's bumped. It's a risk. You know, if Drazer's not here, then he's pushed out. Envoy can then turn around and pick up a different lane, right? Envoy will then have a different responsibility. Very good, guys. Because notice, he gets that specific info. They know where one is exactly. They're missing two. They can predict where the other two are. Very good, guys. Look at Paco, super fast player with an AR. Look at him playing his power spot here. Okay, try and play his guarantee kills. I can promise you guys, this isn't how I play ranked. Is not how these guys play. I play to absolutely destroy people. Yeah, no, Albini, absolutely. You know, I think challenger players get a lot of disrespect. There's a lot of talented challenger players, always have, always will be. The biggest differences I think between challengers and pro teams is teamwork. That's it for the most part. Is being selfless. Actually, being selfless and using teamwork. Thinking about we before me. That's like true teamwork. In the moment, true selflessness. That's it, really. The biggest differences, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, you might have differences in gun skill and in the moment stuff, whatever, right? But the biggest differences for me come from this sort of stuff.
You want to run subs like you said. If you can be ahead of the curve if you're Faze, you can really be a thorn in the
Nice.
side of
So right here.
If you can be ahead of the curve,
Actually, no.
you can really be a thorn in the side of LAThieves. We'll keep an eye on the setups in the big rotations, but it's all.
What do you guys notice about LAT here, chat? Well, LAT are very, very, very good at this one thing. It hasn't worked in this situation, but what do you think it was? And I keep saying it all the time. I keep preaching this all the time. What have they tried to do here in a 4v2 with numbers? Albini, what do you think? What do you think the LAT have tried to do really well here with numbers when you have a 4v2? Think about it. Bait and switch, teamwork, flip spawns, trade. Very good. Trade. This is aping. We want to ape. We want to move towards an objective or map progression or map control together. You want to ape. It's more Apollo. It's more about the aping aspect. It's more about doing something together in order to force trades. Even if someone dies, you get that info to then take a fight. Doesn't work in this case, but more often than not, it puts you in a good position. Okay, let's see how they play this. 56 seconds on a P3. He should spawn at the back here. Yep, he spawns ramp here. Very good play from Paco here. Nice. Now look at him collapse on here time. On time here. They're taking the fights together, and they'll. Oh my god! And they'll be in positions where they can fight with each other. So right here, you have to be very careful pushing both sides. So imagine we draw a line like this. If you end up pushing both sides, so he's spiral technically blocking this, and you push out ramp, the game will want to flip. So number 5 is keeping the game controlled. It is very important, chat, in ranked, you understand how many of your players are pushing a particular side past the 50-yard line of a hill. If you have multiple players doing that, you need to make sure you're hard blocking. Hard blocking means you deny all of the spawn points that are potentially here in one spot. You have certain spots on the map that can do that. Now, the further you push out, it's called a weighted spawn system. The further you push out one way, the further back you have to be, essentially, right? Up to a certain point. So you'll see here, Scrap is keeping the game controlled, understanding what lanes he has to pick up based on where they're spawning, to allow his teammates to get space. This is fantastic communication and fantastic game IQ. Look at. So my question to you guys here is, after Paco's got 2, I want you to watch this wave. What do you think LAT do really well after they get a clean wave? Now let's take the time into consideration. Let's take where they've just spawned into consideration. What do you think they do well in order to soak the time? Alright, Kyle. Fuck you, Kyle. Reinforce hill. Alright, Kyle. What do you think after getting a clean wave, outside of using your free life, that teams need to do better at doing? And what LA2 do really well? I'm not gonna start until Kyle answers. Ah, shake on the nerd in the chat now. Fuck's sake. Hey, everyone show respect. Actually, I'm gonna make Kyle a VIP. Hold on. What's the question? So, when you get a clean wave, first wave, second wave, right, you know exactly where they're spawning. Keep it as simple as you can for the chat. What do the best teams do on this game in particular in order to soak time? Yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree more on the lack of teamwork. I think that selfishness stems from challenger players. Yeah, there isn't. I think that Albini, this selfishness aspect is a product of your environment. Meaning, if it's because of franchising, the only way you can stand out to someone like me is by dropping a 1.8. That's it. It's unfortunate. I can't sit there and watch 20 hours, or let's say 6 hours of one player on a team to focus on. It's just talent acquisition and talent or scouting is not a thing in CDL, and it should be. But the budgets aren't there for it. I would love to have someone dedicated to watching challenges all the time. I fucking spend most of my time at LAN events watching challenges. Yeah, we wanna keep it general. We wanna keep it general and transferable for the chat. Yeah, you're right. So clean wave, take space, free life. Yep, good. But when one person takes a free life, we want to make sure the other three players are playing hybrid spots in order to let the game come to you. Let the game come to you because each wave chat, when you recognize, if you get a clean ass wave, on average, it will take 15, 20 seconds if you let the game come to you for even the first gunfight to go down. By staying alive, valuing your life, and you're not double scamming, by playing safety net hybrid spot, power spot positions, after you get information, you can then help each other and soak time. Yeah, very good job, guys. Very good, Carl. Appreciate you tuning in as well, brother. I mean, they keep creating lanes, put pressure on the spawners. You've got to be careful with the amount of pressure you put on. Because you're in a potential where if you're not helping each other based on where the pressure's coming from, you can double scam, double die, which then teams are very good at aping back. So the best balance, especially on this game, is when you get a clean wave, you understand where they're spawning, you understand the timings. The furthest pushed up player can bump and use his free life, whereas everyone else is playing power spots in order to buy time and play their guarantees. The other three cannot scam. Because then once that guy spawns up, because he's going to spawn up close, he's going to spawn up literally on the point because they have no map aggression, you refill through time. Appreciate you, Carl. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, good job, guys. Very, very good job. Good job. Let's keep this going.
For Faze, they're gonna find two. They still have to deal with him. Hydra
Even
trying to do what he
even
can, at least finesse it,
watching
waste it.
Cloud9 as an example on Control Hassie, when they would get a clean wave and set up on A, they wouldn't try and push up and spawn trap too much. We stole this from you guys. You had one guy cat, three guys time. Because essentially what they have to do is enemies have to come up, clear everything. Clear office, clear plat, whatever. And as the time's going up, they're forced to make mistakes.
Their time on rotation, a big one
Yeah, very good job, guys. Okay, so let's watch LAT here. 8 seconds left. Right. So for my regulars in the chat, what have you noticed that Six is doing? Yeah, we know the rules. We know the rules. What did you notice on this play here? 5 seconds left. Hey, Sub Guardian. How you doing, fella? What is some of the rules that I have? So, they have 5 seconds on the time. Okay, chat. I want you to think like you're a player. You guys have just died. Okay? There is 5 seconds left. What do you think? What should be going through your head right now? Where do you think the enemies are? So let's start thinking like Kyle would. Okay? Kyle Krem comes off spawn. What should he be thinking here? Okay, Nuclear, fantastic. Fantastic answer there. Taking a route to set up a pin, just 3 of them are looking for kills, playing through the front of the hill, right? So you guys are coming off spawn. I want you guys thinking about this sort of thing, right? You're coming off spawn, you understand in the previous life where the enemies are potentially going to be. You understand based on the time that they're going to be setting up, playing for new. Right? This is how we use prediction, this is how we use anticipation, and this is how we use process of elimination. You guys should be understanding that, okay, they have new. They're going to be spawning on new, and they're going to be set up for new. What is the rule that I have when it comes to breaking a hill? So for my regulars in here. So what is the rule, and why do we have that? 3-1, good. But more specifically when it comes to not only the 3-1, more specifically about when it comes to the route. For the routes. Kyle. Yes. Yeah, so it's called, yeah. So basically what Kyle is saying is filtering. Yeah. Basically, the first guy off spawn is trying to take the longest route. Why? Chat, you guys have got this. Why? Why do we ideally want the first guy to make the longest route? There is 2 reasons for that. Timings, yes, the first guy is going to have the best timing in order to take a route, but what does that do? Think about it from a pro player's perspective. Good job. Appreciate the answer, Philly. Welcome to the chat. But he has the most optimal timing. Good. Good. There you go, Toka. Fantastic, guys. Yes. So look at 6 here. He's the first guy off spawn here, chat, because he has the timing to do so, because the enemy getting the hardest or the furthest lane is either takes a bit of time to do or is the hardest thing to do. Right, so then you have that opportunity and that timing in order to take that route. So this is very good job from Paco here, taking a long route which is complementary to breaking the hill, and they'll set up a 3-1 here. They'll filter and set up a 3-1. Now, setting up a 3-1 doesn't mean you all stack one lane. It means you take complementary routes to take the same gunfights. Good job, chat. Very good job. Keep it up. Very good, Philly. Very, very good. Right. What do you notice here, chat? What do you notice here? Do you see how Paco taking that first route is opening up that timing against number 4? And Draz has an AR here, right? Against an SMG. So Paco's taking the first route. He's beaten the timing. He's got the timing on Draz. And Paco's now in a position with an SMG to take the gunfight against Draz, who has an AR. Draz is in a low percentage chance gunfight against Paco because Paco has an SMG. Paco's going to camera him. He's got an SMG. He's going to nuke him. Paco's more comfortable in taking this gunfight. So Paco with an SMG has taken the long route, cut through ticket, to then give himself the highest percentage chance gunfight to win this. Pro players are creatures of habit. They will try and take the same gunfights, the same routes as much as they can based on the weapon that they have. And you see the timings open here for Draz. Now Draz is super uncomfortable. But now, what do you guys notice after they get the first kill? It's a 4 versus 3, right? So what do you notice that they have just done after the first kill is made? Paco makes them turn, gives free bloods for his team. Very good. Now LT group up and ape. They start collapsing. Look at their arrow. What's their goals? Yes. What are their goals from this now after being in a 4v3? All collapsing hedge. They work together. They start collapsing. Good. You take what we call, ideally, the QRP, and you collapse towards time. Now let's start thinking ahead. Draz is dead. Where's he gonna spawn? Let's start thinking ahead. Let's start thinking ahead here. Let's try and get on Kremp's level here of IQ. Where are they going to spawn? Right, they're going to spawn basically here, right? P2 here, right? So what they can then do is once they have mid control, when trying to break P4, this guy is going to try and cut anyone trying to refill time. So when you're breaking, and when you're trying to be efficient in your breaks, they're taking complementary routes in order to ape time, but then they're also setting themselves up for the wave after. Call of Duty is not just about what you want to do in the initial wave, it's about then adapting for the following wave, right? Especially more so on this hill. Why is it important more so on this hill? Why is it important on this hill that you play a wave ahead? Or think a wave ahead and adapt in the moment? What's the reason for that? And then give me another hill that is similar to this. Not map control, not necessarily. But what's advantageous about the guy who spawns here? Because the guys off spawn can just cut them. Good. Yes. This is layering. So basically Faze have done a form of layering where it gives them another opportunity to cut and defend time. Hills like this are very annoying from a layering perspective because they can instantly help the time from hill. Give me 2 hills that are basically, well, 1 hill that is basically the ultimate form of this. Not P3 Vault. Not necessarily. There's one even worse than that on Vault. Even worse than that on Vault. P4. Okay, I'm going to give you P4, but there's another hill. Equally as bad. P2. Now, why is Vault P2 bad from a layering perspective? Where can you spawn teams if you don't set it up correctly and you don't have map progression? Where can you spawn teams if you get killed? On point. Literally on time, right? But then also, Vault P2 is similar to Red Card P4 in that perspective, because let's say if you're hitting the back like this, you're blocking here, you're coming through mid, you're blocking mid, and you've come round like this, right? You're breaking the hill. They're going to spawn elbow, and they literally spawn and pre-aim you getting crossing to time, right? So it's a similar concept in that regard. So let's see how number 6 plays it here.
Here we go. Cell going to be in trouble. The pressure going to come in. He tries to reposition.
What did you notice number 7 do? It wasn't successful, but you have to admire the play. He's tried to cut them off spawn. He's tried to cut them off spawn. Now, this is what we call flow, and this is what we call fill. Ideally, when you come off spawn, either side, you'll notice Faze do it, we did it. You want to play for middle. You want to make sure you're filling and flowing in middle in order to then set that wave ahead, in order to then deny enemies from doing that to you, and it's easy to break because you're taking, easier to break because you're taking complementary routes. So you'll see teams come off spawn, you look at Faze, they might start doing this, because then you stun, you nade, you cut. This is what we call flow, right? Understanding based off your spawn what the objective is for that hill, what lanes you want to control, why you want to control them, and what spots you want to get to, and how you want to fill it. First guy here, second guy here, third guy here, essentially, right? So right here, they've just died, they might just hold, and you might see LAT start doing this to then set up that play rather than trying to bomb time. Now, chat, why is it not advisable to come off spawn if you're LAT here and just bully time? Why is it not advisable to do that? Tax, good. That's a big one. Uno reverse, good. Yep, rushing into irons. So right here on P4, you need to respect when enemies have power positions and when enemies have the timings to get in good spots. You can't just run on time. It's practically impossible to do that because you're getting gunned by 3 people in power spots, in absolute blender spots. Right? So that's why teams will start to then set up plays thinking one step ahead, using the information that they have to then set up the next wave and then set up the wave again, the break again. Yes, good Philly. Very good. So let's see how LAT play off spawn here. So look at 7 and 6. You see that? 7 and 6. Albeit 6 did spawn there. Okay, fair enough. But 7 is still filling towards mid. And look how they play one step ahead now. QRP, quickest route possible, bang in time. And 6 is trying to cut. Now, based on where Ghosty is going to spawn, they will end up reading this. Ghosty should be screaming right now, hey guys, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. Right? So this is why flow and fill is so important, especially at the highest level, because this is how you know exactly what lanes you want to fill in order to prevent blends and think one step ahead and take fights together. And then right here, they'll start taking fights together. They might even do the same here. They might end up shifting across here if need be. Look at 8. Now there's 14 seconds left. They're going to start playing ahead here. Play for lights control.
I got this car recently, and look how much I was paying for insurance.
I've lost flow again. Oh, but I'm interested. Hold on.
And now look at my policy.
$40 a month on insurance. Are you taking the mic?
And the best part is, I'm getting the same coverage, same make, model, same driver, same comprehensive collision, injury, damage, all of it.
Okay.
Help me find a better rate. This is so simple to sign up for.
Right.
Saving yourself so much money.
Wait, chat, do we sign up to this? Is this a scam?
Your car's year, make, and model.
How are you going to put a Ferrari on this, though?
And boom, you get an instant rate comparison.
I can't put the Ferrari on it, guys. Anyway, let's move on.
And on the other side, you chip away at it a bit. If Easy struggles continue, though, 3 and 14. He's got to wake up in this final. Number 2 on the map. It's going to be Simp there early on.
Look at Dan here.
He's going to find a kill towards the point.
Okay. Right, let's see how LAT break this hill. So they'll spawn lights here.
Similar to what we saw Hydra.
Yeah, there we go.
Big plays there for
Now let's see how they break this.
trying to find some time around camera.
Draza able to find that kill, but he does, you know, get that.
So they're trying to take a ticket route. So let's see how they do this again here, chat.
Keeping this P5 messy as it always is. Whole team just battling for control. But yeah, what's going to happen for Abizi, right? He is just a guy who plays with a lot of confidence. When that confidence goes away, what does he need to do to get back into the game? But Draza's on that.
Good try, good try. So these are what we call linear situations. Situations where, let's say, if you get clean waved and you spawn where you expect to spawn, like where you think you should, for example, or like a more routine spawn, then there are certain ways teams will have to break hills, regardless of what info they have on the map. And I see LAT do this so much. Oh shit, Austin has subscribed. Oh, Augustin has subscribed. Now, I see teams, and this is what we do on Red Card P5, and this helped us out on Red Card P5. So we'll run 2 subs on P5. Normally we run 3 ARs, but we run 2 subs on P5, and we'll have one guy here, one guy taking the camera time in, one guy playing here, and then one guy taking ticket. An SMG taking ticket, an SMG taking the camera out, one guy in office, one guy in here. You will be so surprised how open this timing is to kill the guy off time when this guy is watching over. This guy will then take the same fights while ticket is trying to keep this guy preoccupied. So this is what we do, and these guys do something similar. Why'd they give up the block? They didn't expect number 4 to take this route. To be fair, it's a heads up play from number 4. I wouldn't expect it either. I would expect number 4 to play ticket and help crossfire. LAT is going to win champs. I don't think. Yeah. So this is a no map progression spawn. Right here's a no map progression spawn. When you have no map progression, the enemy team, you'll spawn here. Wait, quadruple negative, by the way. When do you see a BZ ever go 4 and 16? Very rare, like never. Okay, so let's see how LAT play this P5 to P1 rotation. Nice.
Yeah, well, this is you know, you're
okay.
Down 11 with
my question to you
him having that rough of a start
is
they try to pick each other up. Why they're the greatest duo of all time. Abizi, though.
So right here, why do you not think? So based on what I said earlier on P1 chat, do you remember earlier on P1 I said there's certain areas of the map you want to control from a game plan perspective, right? From a flow perspective. Certain areas you want to fill, certain areas you want to flow. Well, in your guys' opinion, why do LAT not just try and fight this? Let's start thinking about it. Why do LAT not try and initially try and fight for this side of the map? What could that reason be? Late to rotate. Okay, let's expand on that. So they're late to rotate. What does that mean? They have no map control. They're going to bait time because the same situation as P4, you'd be running into irons and resetting your progression. Very good. Late timings. Very good. Yes. So now this is where, again, when you're a pro player, based on the previous wave, based on where you think they're spawning, based on where you're spawning, based on the kills on the map, based on the info that you have, this is anticipation. You're trying to predict and anticipate what the enemies are going to have. Remember, the enemies are going to play it the same way you would. They would try and get in the same spots you would. Right? So right here, LAT know, right, we've just been wiped. It's at 10 seconds. We know they're going to be playing for new. So this is the prediction element. This is the anticipation. You could do this when you're playing in ranked. I know there's a good chance they are going to have this side of the map and they're going to be in some of these hybrid spots. Which ones exactly? We don't know. Right? But you're trying to be proactive. You're reacting off the information to allow yourself to be proactive. So right here, in order to then make these guys useless because they have map control, because they have power spots to play their guarantees and you don't know where exactly, yes, you can take routes. You can make these guys useless and basically flip the map on them. So P1 is a fantastic example of flipping the map on someone, right? I'm just trying to think what else is there. What else? Even rewind P1 as an example of flipping the map on him. Actually, no, that's a bad example. Just trying to think of another example here. P3. Hassan into P1. Yeah. Hassan into P1. Fucking fantastic example. Hassan into P1. flipping the map on them. If they have full open control, bet we'll play through closed first, flip the map on them. Same thing is you're trying to, again, the same concept that you saw on P4 is you're trying to take routes that split and shift their setups to prevent them from soaking time. Because right now, FaZe have what they want. FaZe's goal is controlling the side of the map that will give them the best advantage of winning the next wave. They're in a position where they can soak time comfortably if they make the mistake of banging out into where they have the power spots, right? So LAT are in a disadvantageous position. In order to mitigate that disadvantageous position, they're going to take routes and control the side of the map that deny them from soaking time. Fine. They're already in a disadvantageous position. We don't need to then give them even more, if that makes sense. So you'll see them take routes here.
Yeah, well, this is you're only
So look at 6, look at 7, look at 5. Now, it's okay for 8 to take that late timing. Why is it okay for 8 to take a late timing here? Why is that okay? Chat. What is important about that? Why should it not be the first guy in this situation? Why should it not be the first guy in this situation? Why should it be the last guy in this situation? What's the difference between the two? And Carl, you can help out if you want. Unless you're already playing ranked. Think about it, chat. What's the differential and the difference here? Hill just popped. Arrows will turn towards gunfights in the hill because 4 will react to what's happening and 8 can then pick him off then. Good. Good. What's good, Swag? Very good, you two. Very good answers. 4 might not expect it. He could give it up because of noise mid. Good answer, Baz. Nuclear, good answer. Very good. Yes, very good. Yep. So there's a good chance that 4 is going to try and trade and take gunfights here. He may not. He may still look here. He may very well do that. He might. But once you're on time, he's going to be tweaking. And then 6 can help if needed. 7 can help if needed. Right? So then that's how we make power spots irrelevant, by taking routes that make him feel uncomfortable. Right here, the reason why the first guy doesn't do it is because this is the first thing that they already have. You're predicting what they already have. Right? So you want to take routes that make what you think that they already have uncomfortable. It's about prediction, guys. We're anticipating what they have in the wave. Predict, anticipate, assume. And then once you get the info, then you can use process of elimination and paint that picture while you're doing it. Very good, guys. Good answers.
All day. 2 minutes.
This is why LAT are one of the best hardpoint teams. Is their situationals understanding from a playing ahead perspective is fantastic. They just know. Look at it. And now they can take the Charles. And you see how they take the Charles together on 4? Because 1 and 3 are out of the play. 1, 3, and 2 are tweaking. These 3 people are tweaking because of them 2 guys, which opens up them 2 to fight. This was so superbly done from these guys.
But a lot of the times, teams clean it up on this first rotation.
Alright, 6 is spawned bus stop. What info is he saying? What info should he be saying? There's 2 pieces of info that you should be saying potentially someone's going to be. There's a reason. But where are they? They're right around ticket area. One's pushed up. Nothing staged. They're spawning flowers. So, Afflicted, not specifically where they're spawning. Where you spawn will tell you where they are. So there should be 2 pieces of information that number 6 could potentially give number 5. So what I say in ranked, right? Check what? There should be 2 things you should check. I spawn bus, check our ticket, or check our pinch. The 2 pieces of info he should be saying realistically is check this and check this. And you can check it instantly because there's a reason why you spawn there. The timing will be there. Yeah. Now you know realistically he's not going to do this. Because realistically people won't do that. Quick check. He can check here, look at it for 1 second, and then be like, okay, I see nothing. Potentially number 3 could do this. Very good, guys. Good job. Alright, 47 seconds left. Let's see how they play this P1. Look at the spots that LAT get into to control this side of the map.
His reading of situations and finesse so
Look at that.
critical.
Look at how they play the line.
As of now,
Because they know exactly where they're going to spawn, why they spawned, where they're coming from, why they're coming from there.
straight for him.
Good. This is what we call fill-in, guys. 6. Now 6, like I said, guys, 6 is going to be like, yo, I spawn bus stop. Check your pinch. Check your ticket. The degree of where you spawn is how far they are pushed up. Difference from here to here, so on and so forth. Very good, guys.
Still alive. He's gonna oh, I thought Kakos.
You see how 7 turned around? I can tell you 7 got that comp.
Still alive. He's gonna
Oh, well, he got shot. Never mind.
I thought
He got shot. Never mind.
Almost does, but
Well, you get the idea. It will tell you the degree away will tell you exactly where he's going to be. So that's how I know when I play where people are to the T.
great job controlling stage, controlling middle of the stairs. So FaZe have not been able to contest. Slowly but surely, that lead continues to grow here.
Right, guys. When you have scrap and you are rotating, what do you want to do? What is the idea of rotating when you have scrap? So let's break it down. So when you have scrap, how many people do you have for new? You have 3. So you're naturally at a disadvantage, right? You're naturally at a disadvantage for a team who's very good at trading. Okay? So when you are at a disadvantage, what is your idea for rotating? What is your objectives for rotating? There's basically 2 things. 3 things, actually, I can think of. Play tight, guarantee trades. So yes, number 1 is you want to play to guarantee kills, guarantee trades together. Because based on the time and how far you push, yes, you can spawn it out, which then doesn't allow them to have a clean rotation. So that's 1. So we don't call it power spots, Apollo, right? Good. Danny boy, very good. So that's number 2. Expect them to scam. You're playing to get scams. You're either playing to get scams if you're on your own, or you're playing to force trades out so then you can cause parallels behind you so the teams don't have a full setup if you still stay alive. Now, most importantly, Apollo, to go back to your point, we don't call them power spots now on rotation. We call them progression spots. Progression spots are areas of the map similar to power spots and hybrid spots. It's all the same shit basically. But ideally, by holding progression, is you staying alive to allow your teammates to get to you or to make a play. Right? When you hold progression, well, what is holding progression? What is the benefits of holding progression, chat? What is the benefits of holding something that you've already cleared? What is the benefits of holding map control or holding an area of the map or a good position on the map that you've already cleared? Team shooting something, guaranteeing a lane, your teammates can come down. Very good, Danny. Easier to get your team back into the mix. Good, Baz. Yes. Fantastic answers. Very good. You've cleared something, your teammates are going to get to you ASAP Rocky to then force trades, to then use process of elimination, to use anticipation of where you think people are going to be. Okay? This is what holding progression is. Now, when you don't have numbers, you want to hold progression. So then the wave, so you're then not forced to take long routes off a wave and give teams full setups. And so the way you want to play P2, as you saw Paco do this earlier, is yes, you want to try and get stage control. You want to try and get hedge control and play through time. If they already have this, by controlling this side of the map for that first wave, is you're playing these power spots to play kills to then play off that. That's how we would play red card P2, and we had a lot of success on red card P2, is by we would early control stage and play through time to get them spawning lights if need be, and then refill where we need to as necessary. Ideally, general rule of thumb, another concept is if you get a clean wave, you're using your free life to push, whatever, to bump and make kills, and then you're refilling through time. Because remember, guys, you can cut lanes through time. Okay?
Just goes nuts from the steps.
So look at 6, he has his free life where needed. This is why LAT are fantastic. Look at them.
Can't do anything too crazy.
6. Oh god, I've lost my flow. I need to get YouTube Premium, guys, but I need you guys to sub to me. The only way I can get YouTube Premium, guys, if I hit 100,000 subs. Balls in your court, motherfuckers.
All the kills going the way.
Look at it. This is why LAT are so fucking good. They have some of the best slayers to ever do it. When you give them a free wave, and they push out, and he's using his free life, the rest are gonna fill where necessary. Refill. Holy shit! Did you just gift me 5? Holy fuck, dude! You've gifted me 5, Baz. Baz, I fucking love you, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Apollo, for the prime as well. Fucking W's, guys. Means a lot, man. Means a fucking lot. Thank you so much, boys. Means a lot. But right here, when you bump, you want to ideally try and refill through time. Why is it important by bumping out and using your free life, you want to refill through time? Or play power spots or hybrid spots in a time? Number 5 reacting to the rights. Yep, so number 5 is playing ahead. Number 5, sorry, is thinking ahead. He's anticipating, right? That's a Waz in the chat, honestly. I fucking love this guy. Thank you so much. But why is it then you want to start refilling towards time when that free life is being used? That's your... Yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. I'm not even going to fucking attempt to pronounce your name, but welcome to the stream. But, Ernie aside, why is it important you start then refilling through time? Yes, good. Now, one thing that is the difference between LAT and a lot of other teams is when they, again, you have Hydra here using this free life. They will refill through time because you can cut lanes from time. You can cut lanes close to time. Because then once you're reading the pressure, you are in spots, let's say hypothetically 7 is here and 5 dies, you are in spots where 8 and 7 can help each other take the same fights. It's a very simple concept. It's called bump and block. But then you refill through time to then take the fights together once you get that specific info. If you have people who are so far away from time, and we had this problem on our team, is if he dies, they ape him, he's died, they are too far away to then trade where the quickest route and the quickest pressure is possible. You want enemies to take routes conducive when you have control of time. The reason for that is because it's a form of layering. You can then turn around based on them taking long routes to take the same fights. Okay, fine, you might flip. You may flip. But if there's still 40 seconds left, you're in a position where you can still soak a good majority of that time and then reflip them anyway. On this game, it is so easy to flip, I promise you. Sometimes playing spawns too hard makes no sense because you make kills, you're going to flip them out anyway. So, flipping isn't a disadvantage because you're in positions where as long as you're taking the same fights and you're trading, you're going to flip them out, run forward and flip them out anyway. Right? So this is how we start thinking ahead. This is why LAT are so fucking good at respawn, is because they know to play from the time if all goes wrong, and then they're going to flip you out anyway.
Thieves lead pushing back out to about 50. These P2s
Look at 7. 7's in a position where he can help time. 6 has still got a free life. 5, he's calling out so much for 8 and 7. Now look at him shifting back. Ranked players in my chat, this is what we call timings. What I have seen in diamond players is they will sit there for the love of God for about 20 seconds. But guys, you should know after a certain amount of time, and this comes through repetition, that they aren't taking this route. After a certain amount of time, you should know this inherently. And so look at him shifting back to fight where the pressure is. Of course, it helps when 7 and 8 are calling out. But even without calling out, Paco will still do the same thing because he's thinking after 10 seconds, nobody's come back. Right? And take that risk.
In a row, leading the lobby in kills.
Yes. So, Paco...
Able to find 2, now up to 3 in a row, leading the lobby.
So look at what Paco is doing here, right?
Yeah, I mean, this has been almost the cleanest.
Sometimes, for you ranked players, the reason why what Paco done here was fantastic is sometimes playing your life is bad. Because you're playing lanes and you're playing positions that people aren't going to. That's one less player out of the potential trades. Because of how fast Call of Duty is, you're not then in a position that's quick enough to trade or react off that or help. So that's why sometimes staying alive is not good, because you can't help. That's why Paco's shifting was fantastic, because he realizes him staying alive is doing fucking nothing because nobody is coming here. This is what we call cutting ghosts, chat. Staying alive for too long is a bad thing when it comes to winning. There are situations in setups where valuing your lives is very important. So right now, him valuing his life, him staying alive is fantastic. But where you value your life and where you play your life and when you play your life is very fucking important. Right here, him playing his life is fantastic. Him playing his life is fantastic, right? Him playing his life, fantastic. But understanding when you're the furthest pushed up guy in the flow and you have your free life, you playing your life is dog shit, is not good. You might think it's good, but it's not good. That's why Paco is fantastic. He's shifting across to get involved, to use his free life if required, and to trade and to be efficient with his kills.
But they're able to catch it. Scrap was able to find 2. Now up to 3 in a row, leading the lobby.
And the entire time they're soaking.
Yeah, I mean, this has been almost
the entire time they're soaking. Entire time they're soaking. Okay, you might die, but who cares? I've just got 50 seconds of a P2, and then I'm gonna potentially flip you out anyway. And they still don't have P2. They still, you force them to take routes, but who cares? Look at them. They still don't have time. They're still fighting together. They're still aping together. They're still hiving together, and they're gonna flip him out anyway. There you go. Causing parallels, guys. You see what I'm saying? Chat, are you picking up what I'm putting down right here? Take your long routes. Let the game come to you. As long as we don't scam and stay alive and use our free life, fine. We're gonna cut from the hill. We're gonna refill towards hill. Fine. You still have to trade us out. Fine. You don't make the trades. We're gonna get the time. Fine. You have spawns. Okay. We're gonna kill you and flip you anyway. Chat, are you picking up what I'm putting down? If you are not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm not gonna start. I swear to God, I'm not gonna start. I'm just gonna scroll Twitter. If you aren't picking up what I'm putting down, I'm just gonna go on Twitter. And if you ain't telling me you're picking up what I'm putting down, chat, fine, I'm just gonna scroll Twitter. Actually, I don't want to scroll Twitter. There's too many fucking weird shit on my Twitter. Danny, you picking it up? Heaven, you're picking it up? Rohit, you better be fucking picking this up, Rohit. I swear to God, Rohit, you better be picking this info up. Guardian, you picking up? That's not enough, guys. Where's Baz picking it up? Where's Apollo picking it up? Nuclear picking it up? Sawyer picking it up? Swaggy picking it up? I'm not going to start until I get 5 more people picking up what I'm putting down. Unless you're telling me you're picking this shit up, I ain't going to do this, bro. Yeah, I'm going to be petty. I fucking am. Because I'm your fucking coach, chat. Unless Legacy Beams, Stewie COD, Abysm, say they're picking it up, I ain't starting, bro. I need one of them to say it. I need one of them to say they're picking it up. I need Legacy Beams, Stewie COD, Abysm, or I don't know what the fuck that name is. I'm not gonna start. Oh, so he's picking it up. All right, we continue. That's it. That's all I care about is Sawyer picking it up. Yeah, I think LAThieve winning it all, Rohit. Honestly, brother. Okay, listen to this conf, right?
He's not showing off the hill, by the way. It should be weak. Two there. I'm actually, yeah, 2 out at one time. Yep. Close out of me, weak. Alright, 1 out of 2 on 2 on side. Yeah. One more. A BZ. Chop. Don't see him. Low. Watch out. Nice. Another one there. On time. Both ARs. Outer. Big 20. I have a straight for new. Let's put that guy. One left. 2 of them. Another one here. He's weak. They flip. Nice. It's draws and aim. Draws. He's already behind us, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm clearing him. He's EP2. First guy P2.
I need help.
Already out of us. Yo, listen, just everyone, right up. Yeah, I'm camping S1. Yo, low streak, 1v2, 1v2, absolute time, trust. Yo, listen, 2 mid hedge.
On time trust and yellow.
Yo, you're gonna streak, okay,
Trust and yellow.
mid and then weak. Yo, come mid, back up. Yo, going mid door right now. I don't see mid door. I'll tell you where they're at. Mid door, dead. Payphone and 2 times. Payphone 2 times. Payphone, dead. 2 times. Cut the top. One shot, absolute, I got one. There's one in low streak, Yo, low streak, first guy. One shot, he's on the hedge.
Did you make them split though? Yes or no?
Yes. Nice. I'm trying out with you. Only one corner.
Weak. Low right.
One red hedge, the rest their side. Hedge, one shot, 2 of them. I'm just living, I gotta live.
Just stay alive. We need to buy time here.
That's
That's it.
Top.
He's
Two their side, to their side. 2 of them.
I've been
Weak, go. Yeah, I got one. Another one there. Sim.
mid hedge. Top mid hedge.
Go new.
I'm in a trap here.
Nice.
What's in you? What's in you?
Here.
Okay,
go research. I'm going to take it.
Yo, I have to pay for cut.
Nice. He could be lights. Yo, he's elbow.
He's
On
out.
the camera.
Hey, yo, what's gonna be pay for mid? Last 2 mid. After
I'm
that.
running in chairs.
I have the pitch.
Nice. I have time.
I'm
staying on chairs. Yeah, elbow. I'm not
I have the pitch. Same.
Everyone breathe. Pick up my elbow.
I have the pitch.
On top. Yo, John's is top. SP's on me.
I'm pushing down.
Nice.
Go Paco.
Bro, nobody
Damn.
clipped this shit.
Another product out of Veda.
But this
Welcome, world.
shit makes me feel some kind of way. This shit, I'm not gonna say it, but this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like this shit, it's making me feel some kind of way. It's making me, right? So, if you notice, guys, pro players and pro teams, right? They don't need to communicate everything. So, if you guys go back to the P4 thing, right? If we watch the P4 thing, right? And I talked about the flow on P4, right? Again, this is a linear situation. This is a situation you will get in many times. They know what to do. They know what lanes to fill. They know what their flow should be based on the information and the situation they're in. They rotated and picked up mid to break this time without saying a single fucking word of what they're doing, because they know. This is what pro teams do. Pro teams, where we repeat, we have habits, we try and aim for the same thing as much as we can for a purpose or a goal. We'll fill the same things. We'll trial the same way. We'll try and get the same lanes, right? There's a reason why we do it. There's a flow to it, right? They don't say that. You notice in their comms, actually, a lot of the times is, again, understanding where they're spawning is a big thing. It's not even flow state chaos. It's just understanding the goal and what you need to do as a team. They'll try and do this every game. If they're in this situation to break P4, they will do this. This is game plan. Sorry, this is what a game plan is. This is how you have game plans in Call of Duty, right here. Okay? Yes, some game plans you'll have an option for different plays, and it can deviate based on the info, but they'll have a general sense or a general game plan and what lanes they need to fill, what lanes they need to flow in, and then force trades together. This is perfect right here. Most of their communication comes from the small talk, the child with me's, the one shots, right? You know, it's Envoy. Yo, come top child with me. That's how you promote aping and hive minding. If you tell people, yo, fight with me, do this with me, right? Hold on, this is pissing me off. Chat. Holy shit, I was actually doing my head in. There you go. Nobody's pass, right? So that's what that is, and that's what they do fantastic. And their communication with the small talk is what you want.
Yeah, I got one. He could be lights. Yo, he's
And you notice the kills that they get are the most important and conducive to the hill. Tell her I said happy birthday.
Scrap is flying 5 straight on 32.
Ernie's so good, bro. Fuck's sake, bro. He's so good.
I mean, Draw's made a massive play early in that stage hard point, but Thieves.
Right, look at him. Chat.
The map won.
Chat. So
5 straight on
they know exactly where they're spawning. So we know obviously with number 3 he's taking the longest route, first guy, whatever, right? But when you watch this clip, so right here, okay, so after he gets his 2-piece, it's 44 seconds. 44 seconds, right? 3 down. It's basically a clean wave, okay? Now, when you watch this clip, I want you to tell me what they do really well here. I want you to tell me what they do really well here.
Is flying. 5 straight
Now look at the arrows.
2 lead growing again for Thieves, close to putting away the map 1. I mean, Dross made a massive play early in that stage hard point, but Thieves answer back behind the streak. They are battling, and this is a fantastic hold of camera. Every single second feels like a dagger.
All right, chat. So they have got the clean wave at 44 seconds. It is now 22 seconds, right? So they've got basically 22 seconds off this hill. They got 22 seconds. Now, chat, explain to me how they've got 22 seconds. Explain that to me after a clean wave. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. So, yep, Baz, good, very good. So, to Baz's point, fantastic answer. What you don't see is also info. You need to be communicating, hey, I don't see this, check this. Predictions. Okay, fantastic. But even more simpler than that, expand chaos. What do we call it? Let's make sure what we say is transferable. Let's make sure what we preach, the core point that we preach is transferable. What are they doing after a clean wave? Okay, even more, let's keep it simple, Apollo. Even more simpler than that. Let's talk about the general fundamental point here. What are they doing? What are they doing that ranked people would not? I end up, very good, Baz. Let the game come to them. Otoko, fantastic. You let the game come to you. Holding a setup, yes. Now, we'll talk about a setup in a minute. You can see here the power of holding, of letting the game come to you. Now, Ernie has the option to use his free life. Absolutely, he can. But my point is even if Ernie does use his free life, you see the way he's playing, and he's playing. They let the game come to you. And this is to my earlier point, is if you let the game come to you and you don't scam, it takes an average of 20 seconds to even get in the first gunfight. Even more, even less for the most part based on the hills, but this is the general rule of thumb. Now combine that with the free life. One wave can give you 40 fucking seconds, guys. Right? They've got a third of that time from one wave. This is why LAT are in an advantageous position. So actually, let me write this down. So this is setups, right? Now, why are LAT in an advantageous position? Explain it to me, chat. Let's break it down to the micro. Why are LAT in an advantageous position? And again, it might be some of the same answers, but I need to make sure I'm using repetition here. Why? Efficiency of kills, full setup. There's no need to use the free life in this position. They already have everything locked down, and there are no unknowns on the map. Good. So that's a very good answer. But why is this? Why do we call this an advantageous position? Holding all the hybrid spots. Good. So they're holding the power spots and the hybrid spots. Yep, that's why it's an advantageous positions. What else? Good, Danny. Very good. Yep. What else? One more reason why this is an advantageous position. So this is what you're describing, Baz, is game management. I'm not going to consider game management at this point, but that's a fucking fantastic answer. Timings. They know all the timings. They're tracking names. They know all the timings. They've got all the lanes. They've got all the power spots. They've got all the hybrid spots. They can play the guarantee of the next wave. They can funnel teams if needed. They can funnel teams as needed because all they can do is just focus on the middle of their screen. They have the tags. They have the nades. They can funnel teams. They have high percentage chance gunfight positions. The reason why power spots are so good is because it gives you an advantage in a gunfight. That's why. Right? Very good. Now, what are the advantages? So, what is a setup, chat? What do we call a setup? What's the whole point of a setup? Very good, Afflicted. Your answers are fantastic, mate. To gain info. Good. What else? What's the whole point of a setup, chat? Player guarantees. Good. I like that. Very good answer. Shift to where the pressure is being applied, play for trades. Good answer. To lock down a hill and control the map. Good answer. Numbers, block and soak time. Yep. You guys are all fantastic. Yes. The whole point of a setup is you're trying to get info as soon as you can. You're in positions where you can all focus on a lane. You're in positions where you can all help each other. You're in power spots to play your guarantees and team fight and team shot something. You're in positions where you put the enemy at a disadvantage. That's why we have a setup. Because enemies have to be in a disadvantage in order to break the hill. Very good. Fantastic, guys. Yes. Now, when you have a setup and you let the game come to you, it gives you the highest percentage chance of winning that next wave. Or at least getting the first kill of the next wave. To then force a team fight and force a team trade. That's why setups are good. Now, you have different types of setups. You have very rigid, super structured setups that you'll see some teams get into, where you get a clean wave, I go here, I go here, I go here, I go here, which serves its purpose, right? You also have makeshifts. Makeshifts are setups where if you can't get into the best setup, ideal. This is what we call ideal. If you can't get in your ideal, you're playing it off the info. You're playing it as in, okay, they're coming from every way, so I'm going to watch this, you watch this. So you have makeshifts. That's how we adapt. Teamwork from Faze is the only way. Well, it's very hard to fucking break P5, mate, from this side. So a BZ taking a route, taking control to open up a timing is the only way you can do it, to be honest with you. The way your BZ played it was fine. You just lose the gunfight. I think the way they set it up was fine. It's just hard to break P5 from this side. That's why this side, having lights is so strong when you're spawning them underground. But you get the idea, chat.
I mean, Scrap is frying, but how good is the communication LAThieves? Just somebody back and forth.
Yeah.
Envoy and Toasty just calling out the strats, calling out names, where they're going. And of course, you just sprinkle in Scrap yelling at them.
Yep, makeshifts, 100%.
Dead is LAThieves 16 points away from taking map 1.
Good from Paco here. Holy fuck, Paco's screaming dead, you know it's over.
Scrap, the superstars doing it. You're getting a full
Right, chat.
Hydra.
Chat, question for you guys. Now, in this situation,
Taking map 1.
Up nearly.
in this situation, why is this P5 to P1 chat different to the previous P5 to P1? Now let's start thinking like a pro player. What information are you getting in this moment here, chat? Matty PJ, I want you to try and answer this. Red Pill, Speechless, one of you guys to answer this. What do you think is different about this situation compared to the previous P5 to P1? What do you think? What do you think? Hold on, chat. Fucking hell, I'm getting roasted on the breaking point tweet. Holy shit. My shit's getting cooked. Anyway, back to this. You're coming off a full wave. Yeah, they have a big lead and are close to winning the game, so they're slowing it. Good answers, good answers. It's a close game for Faze. All 4 of Faze off spawn. You know the time is you can. Yeah, so basically, even more simpler than that. Oh yeah, basically, Baz, you're right. Paco's got a 2-piece. Faze are coming off spawn. So they know if Faze have just come off spawn, they know exactly where they're spawning. They're probably not thinking they're spawning. They're probably thinking they're spawning like here, right? Well, maybe with white time, they're probably predicting mid. But either way, in either case, you're thinking, right, we can at least try and fight for this because we know we have the timing to do so. So this is different to the previous case because now Faze aren't already set up based on the previous wave. And Paco's got 2. So this is a good fight. This is a 2v2 at the least, maybe a 3v2, maybe a 4v2 if Paco gets activated. So this is why they're trying to control this side of the map initially, because that's the side that they want for P1. But the reason why they're fighting for this is because Faze aren't fully set up. It's about predicting and using the information that you have in the moment to then determine what play you want to make, right? If Paco doesn't make this two-piece and the wave wasn't as clean as what it does, then they'll start playing for scrap and going round. Maybe they might even take a 4v3 towards hedges, right? But you can see the differences between the first rotation and the second rotation.
Nearly 100 Hydra, Scrap, the superstars doing it. You're getting a full team effort, but wow, this is why you paid those guys to be in the roster.
So like right here,
Shut it down here with the final
he's getting to
15.
stage in a power
They have
spot.
outplayed,
They then refill
outclassed
through
the
time.
map one.
Six is there, so he's like, hey,
No
one guy
stranger
potentially
to
ticket.
topping the map one. Typically the team B, and that's when they bounce back after.
Good try.
Nice little stretch there from them, but maybe too little, too late. We'll see.
Now right here, hey, they pushed out the left.
Come back to the
They
map
pushed
one
out the left.
final.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. And well, BZ finally pulls out that extra.
Same again. Let's see how they break this. Are they going to try and fight the power spots that Faze have? Now look at Faze's setup. This is the exact setup I told you guys earlier that teams want to get into. Simple as one guy here taking his free life, one guy here, one guy here, one guy blocking. Simple. Now let's see how LAT end up breaking this, knowing full well Faze have a full setup.
But
A linear
think it's
situation.
A little too late. This is just maybe the one team where you can't do that. You have that second sub and
Look at him taking the route.
go against them.
It may not be the first guy in this
Why they're
situation.
undefeated on this map. Nobody squares up with them. Faze trying to do it again. Well, it just is not gonna work out.
You see that, chat? So one of the biggest things about Hardpoint that pro players do or pro teams do is they understand where the pressure's the hardest. It's going to sound funny, but where are they hard and where are they soft? Where are they strongest versus where are they weakest? Based on where you spawn in, based on how you predict where an enemy is setting, or based on your anticipation, you can then start to predict and then use that to then set up your play. Same again. They're using that information and prediction and anticipating Faze to set up how they were, again, based on where they're spawning, and they're taking routes to try and challenge where they're weakest in order to spread and shift their setup to make it at least easier for them, or to at least mitigate them soaking 60 seconds. Sometimes you might have it in ranked where people start head bashing towards P1, towards this side, because they think, hey, we need to control this, therefore all I'm going to do is just head bash it. No, you don't have to. It's about adapting off the information that you get. And then once kills are being made, and you realize, hey, they may not be on that, or they may not have the power spots, or you might have numbers, then you can fight for the side of the map that you want. So that's where we can adapt. That's where the adaptability aspect comes from in chat.
This would have to be perfect, and well, what's been perfect is these P2. Their P2s have been nuts.
Huge plays from Cell.
Got the 5 straight. Maybe he can earn a streak to make this more manageable. This has been a bit of a terror, an incredible stretch from Faze. It's just, is it too late, or is it another insane comeback? We've had so many this weekend, so many this past month. Is there another one maybe coming here? Ghosty, maybe.
Nice. Okay, wait. I did not even notice that. Let's see how they even broke P2. Look at Ghosty here.
This weekend. So many this past
Look at LAT's flow here, guys. Look at them taking the same fights. Look at 7 trying to take a route to help 5. Insane. Insane. See that, chat? LAT, that's why they're good at red card. Right there. That's why they're good at red card. That's why they're good at rewind. Right there. Right there is a fantastic example of that.